It is 3 a.m. and you are awake again. Not because of noise, not because of anything you can name, just that familiar weight pressing down on your chest, that quiet voice in the back of your mind that asks the question you have been trying not to hear. Is this it? Is this really how my life turned out? You think about the plan. You remember it clearly. The version of your life you were so certain about. The job, the relationship, the moment when everything would finally click into place and you would look around and think, yes, this is exactly where I was supposed to be. That moment never came. Something got in the way. Maybe it was one big thing. Maybe it was 100 small things that added up quietly over years. But somewhere between who you plan to be and who you are right now, something changed. And on nights like this, lying in the dark, it feels like loss. But here is what I want you to sit with for just a moment. What if the life that did not go according to plan is not the story of what you lost? What if it is the story of what you are still becoming? Think about water. When water meets a rock, it does not stop. It does not mourn the direction it planned to go. It finds the edges. It moves around. It keeps going. And it shapes everything it touches along the way. Not because it is powerful in the way we usually think of power, but because it never stops moving. Because it adapts without losing what it is. You have done that. More times than you probably give yourself credit for. There was a moment in your life, maybe more than one, where everything fell apart. Where the version of the future you were holding on to dissolved overnight. And you had a choice. Even if it did not feel like a choice, you could stop. Or you could keep going into the uncertainty, not knowing what was on the other side, just trusting that there was another side. You kept going. You are here. That is not nothing. That is everything. But I want to go deeper than just telling you that you survived. Because surviving is not the point. The point is what the unplanned life has been quietly building in you that the planned life never could have. The plan was built on certainty, and certainty, as comfortable as it feels, has a shadow side. It narrows you. When you are certain of where you are going, you stop noticing what is around you. You filter out the unexpected. You pass by the people, the ideas, the moments that do not fit the route you have already decided on. But when the plan collapses, the certainty goes with it, and something opens up in that space. A kind of attention you did not have before. A willingness to see what is actually in front of you rather than what you expected to be there. Some of the most important things in your life came to you not because you planned for them. They came to you because the plan fell apart and left you open enough to receive them. The friendship you never expected. The direction that found you when you had stopped looking. The quiet moment of clarity that arrived not when everything was going right, but when everything had gone wrong, and you finally sat still long enough to hear yourself think. That is not coincidence. That is how growth actually works. Not in the smooth execution of a plan. In the reckoning with what happens when the plan is gone. And here is what I need you to understand. Not as a comfort, but as a fact. The version of you sitting with this right now, the one who has been through the disappointment, who has carried the weight of the unmet expectation, who has had to rebuild a sense of direction from scratch, that version of you is more capable than the one who first made the plan. More honest, more awake, more real. The plan was made by someone who had not yet been tested. You have been tested. And you are still here. So what do you do with that? You stop waiting for the life you planned to somehow come back. It is not coming back. And that is not a tragedy. It is permission. Permission to take the life that is actually in front of you seriously. To stop treating it as the backup option and start treating it as the real thing. Because it is the real thing. It is the only thing. The question is no longer what happened to the plan. The question is, what are you going to do today? With who you have actually become, in the life you are actually living. Not tomorrow. Not when things settle. Not when you feel ready, because that feeling may never arrive on its own. Today. Right now. With exactly what you have. The plan was never the point. You were always the point. And you are not finished yet. It is 3 a.m., but you are awake. And that means you still have time to build something true. Get up. Begin.